Good morning and welcome to Newsviews. I'm Stacey Baca. A record number of visitors came to Illinois last year, nearly 114 million people. And tourism, serious business obviously in our state. Those visitors gave a $1.1 billion boost to the state's economy. On this Memorial Day weekend too, many of us are hitting the road, looking ahead to summer. Perhaps you have a trip planned. And we're talking about the effort to attract visitors to the land of Lincoln and also spots that all of you out there might want to check out this summer. So Corey Jobe is the expert on all of those topics, much more too. He is the Illinois Office of Tourism Director, and he joins us. So nice to have you here.
Thank you.
I love how you dub yourself the state's cheerleader.
Well,
right?
I am.
You are the state's cheerleader.
We partner with about 40, we partner with 40 convention and visitor bureaus around the state. And so it's about partnerships, it's about teamwork. So I am the state's cheerleader.
Let's go ahead and talk about the numbers that we're seeing. 114 million visitors. Who's visiting our state?
Well, it's really a breakdown. 83% of the 114 million visitors were here for leisure, 17% for business. So it's a statewide industry. It's just not here in Chicago. It's all across the state. Out of that 114 million, almost 2.5 million were from our international markets, or the international visitors coming to the United States. And they're visiting all across the land of Lincoln. And you know what's really great is that the 7th largest employer in the United States is the tourism and hospitality industry. So as you said in your opening, it's big business here in the state and all across the country.
Let's talk money. What does that mean as far as jobs, as far as our state's economy, and just really people coming here and spending their money?
Well, you know, it's those 114 million visitors, they spent $40 billion, that's with a B, $40 billion in expenditures in 2017. And
that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, and that equates to almost $3 billion in local and state tax revenues. So we are a revenue generator for Chicago, for Springfield, for the state. But what's more important is we talk a lot in our office about how the visitor is really saving our main streets in Illinois, because a lot of us, I'm guilty as the most. I shop a lot online. Shame on me. It's convenient. But visitors, when they come into your communities, they're staying in unique B&Bs and inns. They're shopping at unique gift shops. They're dining in restaurants, and they're visiting our sites and attractions. They're spending a lot of money, and then that visitor leaves. And us as Illinoisans, we get to enjoy the benefits, those quality of life benefits. We talked off air about Maggie Daley Park and Millennium Park. We get to enjoy those sorts of things because of the visitor, and it's important to remember that.
So I'm interested to find out, too, the difference between Chicago, because we're sitting here in Chicago, so we're kind of Chicago-centric. But when it comes to those jobs and the money, too, you're talking all parts of the state. Not just our city. Not
just our city. It's the visitor expenditure and overnight accommodations. One thing we work on at the Illinois Office of Tourism is paid accommodations. 50 miles away from their home base, they're considered a visitor. So they don't have to overnight. But we encourage overnight stays. And one of our major goals over the past couple of years was to get visitors to stay longer. 0.5 days longer. Now that's an odd metric, but but we really are.
Someone was back there crunching that number.
But we're really focusing on Chicagoans. Instead of going north for the summer to Wisconsin and Minnesota and Wisconsin and Michigan, I love my friends in those states. We're trying to encourage them to come downstate, 70 minutes to Starved Rock Country, which is great outdoor adventure, hiking, horseback riding, fishing. But to travel even further in the state, out west to Galena, down along the Great River Road to the mighty Mississippi, or even further south to the Shawnee National Forest, we have everything and more reasonable, easier access than leaving the state. And so it's been our focus over the past couple of years to get Illinoisans to travel outside of their community. In some big states around the country, like California and Michigan, they rely on their residents traveling within state, and about 40% of our visitor numbers are from Illinoisans traveling within their state. And we want that to grow, because if we can encourage them to stay one extra night or go on an overnight trip, just think what that would do to the local economy.
That is such a fascinating sort of approach and strategy, because you do hear people saying, oh, I'm going to Door County, or I'm going to Michigan, or what have you. But to be able to say, I'm headed down south somewhere, Galena's a hot spot.
Galena's our, Galena, almost 4,000 residents live in Galena, but they welcome nearly 2 million visitors a year. 2 million visitors. I mean, the #1 economy in Joe Davies County and Galena is the tourism industry. And you see that all over our state. The Shawnee National Forest, the #1 industry, tourism. A lot of communities around the state have realized they have a story to tell and they have an opportunity, and tourism is a great investment for those communities.
And attracting all of you Chicagoans who are out there. That's what we're about right now. So what are the hot spots? Where do you want to see? We're going to talk about all of that right after this short break.
Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to our ABC7 Chicago YouTube channel.